here. Goats is on the way out before it's officially on the way out. Is what we're learning here. But RunAway on the defense first, Gen.G on the attack. And already a key difference between the two teams. Defense choosing their weapon, and it's a Hanzo. Gen.G going, we want the Reaper, and that means for Gen.G, they don't want to waste any time in getting on the point.
Gen.G are going to look for this very fast engagement when they take the fight to point, but they can't lose anyone early to this Hanzo, to the Zen, to the hooks. They have to be careful because if they engage too hard before their mortality falls, it's too bad.
Yaki just got pasted into the ground. Halt with the Reaper follow-through. Set up by the Honest Sleep. It's a really quick attack coming in from Gen.G. Hisu trying to even things up here from the outskirts. There's some real attacks, and Oberon cleaning on up. Gen.G, they wanted a quick attack. They got a quick attack, and point A is going to be theirs on the first attempt.
A lot of the credit here has to go to Creative. These sleeps, he had two very clean sleeps here. One of them to open up the fight. And Gen.G playing that masterfully. I have to say, I don't think LEGDAY or the Batiste was able to find nearly as much value as he should have. He wasn't able to use a mortality field to keep anyone alive. And now Gen.G can continue to move to the cart.
Look at the disparity between Maze here. Yaki rolling up at 31% because he got bopped early in the fight. Stalker, 93. This is really good for Gen.G's momentum as we go into point B.
And considering that there's no diva for RunAway, Stalker's Blizzard is pretty free to set up. If anything, if they have a longer fight, they can just drop the nano on Wakid as well and have Wakid walk forward.
Stalker holds right, Stalker's down! Stalker doesn't get the attempt to drop the Blizzard. Foundate to the back of RunAway. Transcendence forced out, still potentially winnable here for Gen.G. Wakid says, I don't need a Blizzard, I enjoy the heat, and I'm bringing it. 3 gonna fall as a result. And that even means they get to save it for the next fight. What a disaster for RunAway.
And it was exactly what Gen.G needed. I had talked about before, where when there's no diva, Nano Reaper is insanely powerful. He has so much health. He has a lot of survivability. He's doing an incredible amount of damage. And Wakid is just able to walk forward post-trance and finish off those kills. When there's no diva to really deny him, there's no defensibles either after the trance is used. RunAway have to re-enter here. They put QQ onto the diva. But look at Gen.G's ult bank. 5 ults available for them. They can just look to set up Stalker, set up Wuyong.
They are remarkably rich. Up with the supercharge to the bottom to the back. Bang! Immediately out of the fight. Beat invested. Gen.G moving forward. Wakid holding on to the Blossom. And they just get point B. And they still have plenty in reserve. RunAway really hasn't forced a whole lot out.
Just a beat and a bomb and the supercharger used for Gen.G. That's a pretty cheap considering they held on to both the Death Blossom and the Blizzard. And Creative's about to have another nano. RunAway have to recontest here. They have the Blizzard of their own. But it's a question of, can they even get any value here? And they really rest on the shoulders of Mag to make sure the supercharger forces out some cooldowns early from Gen.G.
Keep trying to be sneaky with it. RunAway, they don't see him on the flank. He's going to move in. Death Blossom moves in, gets LEGDAY gone. And even as it goes in, the Blizzard Eden, Yaki was looking for a little bit of stall. Does not happen. And this has been so remarkably one-sided. Gungam did though. And we get Stalker. Gen.G a little bit deep. Wuyong a bit danger here. Gonna lose the mech. But Wakid's still around. He's nano boosted. No one can stop Wakid.
That was a beat on the 3 members too, which were supports there for LEGDAY Gong. Sure, they're stalling the point, but it has worked out. Because Gen.G cannot clean up that point fast enough. They cannot clean up those kills because of the beat invest from LEGDAY Gong. But they definitely wish they would not have had to invest the beat, but Wakid was running rampant. Absolutely rampant there. Mag is held onto the supercharger.
More blood for the Blood God is what we're about to see here. Wakid over the top. All right, 19 HP. Walks in out. Gonna respect Hisu for chunking him a few times up over the top, but teleport's about to be over at the moment. Death Blossom on deck. Engage coming in here from RunAway. The wall's already out. Beat invested by Gen.G. I look to where Wakid is right now, still holding on to Death Blossom. Gen.G falling on back, but RunAway, if they overextend just a little bit with this Blizzard, it's not gonna end well. Freeze up Wuyong, they're looking for the D-Mac to shield out just in the nick of time, and Gen.G, they can turn this.
That was a Blizzard that did not find a lot of value. They hadn't forced those cooldowns early. It was so deep as well. Couldn't even get Wuyong because the shield was up. Now he's gonna have to use the Wright to get out. Gen.G are free to walk forward here. They're gonna find the isolation onto Yaki as well.
Yaki down, Wakid moving forward. Gen.G dictating the flow of battle here and now. Wakid goes in, drops Death Blossom, takes out another. Gen.G keeping up the pressure and then some. 3.5 minutes left to go, but something tells me they're not going to need all that time.
Look at the ult bank for Gen.G here. They're going to have Blizzard. They're going to have double tank ult. They're getting close to a beat. They have so much in the bank. And for Gen.G, their goal here is just to pressure them on this entry, pressure them with this supercharger, and then Wooyah and Stalker are free once all those cooldowns are used. The Blizzard are going to be so good. The bomb after post-fight is going to be just insane to their point.
Lessons out here. Hisu almost chunked immediately. And now they have to go through the Blizzard. It's all ice here on the point. Stalker with 2, Wakid with the rest. This will be Gen.G. A very fast time here at Kings Row. And an excellent response after the holds on Paris.
You really have to look at the difference in Mayplay there between Gen.G and RunAway. I think that's the most important thing to look at in terms of who was getting value consistently with their Blizzards, who was in a position to get set up by their team. Sure, you could argue that's sort of a team play where they need to force those cooldowns, they need to put them in a position to succeed. But when you look at how deep Yaki went earlier in that fight, earlier on just the fight before, to throw that Blizzard, it was just not in a position to succeed, while Stalker is making sure that his Blizzard is in a very good spot to succeed post-fight.
And also, just reliable cleanup across the board from Wakid, where Reaper, right place, right time, never dying early, never overextending. What more could you ask from your trenchcoat hero?
Maybe 3 guns rather than 2?
I don't think he has the ability. Where is he going to throw the gun? Is he going to go full Zoro from One Piece, just put the gun in his mouth, but aim the other way?
I know of Zoro, but I know of a different Zoro played by Antonio Banderas, but I don't know that Zoro.
Otherwise known as Normie Zoro. I got you.
Normie Zoro, he says.
I don't know. What do you want here? Nothing in the 3-sword style. There's just something wrong. But
Gen.G going to be on the defense now here, and they're looking to play the Ana rather than that Zen, so they're not focusing on shield break nearly as much. They have the potential, but with Ana, it allows them to sustain a little bit more. They can play these fights, they can look for the rotation, and then look for antis, look for the nanos. I like this for defense a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more flexible than Zen. When are we going to see this? It looks like they're probably going to play the May Reaper. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing, putting Gangnam Jin onto the Moira. They're going to take this fight directly to point.
Gone. Going to be setting up here for RunAway, and I think RunAway, this is going to be a quick move into the point. They get halted immediately. Heavy pressure onto Hisu. Dragging a bit of danger here as well. The hook coming on out, and QOQ demacked early. Good combination between Wakid and Roadhog up over the top. Now moving back the other way. Wakid under heavy pressure, not going to be healed up in time. Falling early. Oberon, same. Can he get away? The shield buying time. And Oberon actually healed back up. The immortality field, big. Getting a bit of extra room. And Gen.G for now, potentially about to withstand, even as the RunAway pressure still directly onto the point.
RunAway, they're fighting here on the point. They're about to have coalescence, but they're going to walk to the Ant Matrix. This should be cleaned up now. Gen.G sustaining for so long. Bliss getting insane value there on the high ground. And despite the opening gambit where they pick off QQ early, Wakid went a little deep, but at the end of the day, as soon as you're down 1, and especially if it's a diva where you can't zone that backline, you can't be sort of Fat Reaper, where you walk forward and burn the tanks as diva, it's so hard for RunAway to clean up that fight on the point when both the supports are completely unzoned in the back for Gen.G.
So the first attack from RunAway, not quite exactly what they would have liked. Now moving back the other way, Gangnam Jin holding on to the Coalescence. Look at the pressure on the Mag. Mag just off on an island by himself, the wall! Just wait, thinking to turn towards the team, the Dragon the other way! And yet Mag still gonna survive the beat dropped by RunAway, and it's well timed. It lets him turn the fight against Gen.G.
Is Oberon alone, nanoed on the point, will pick up Lee Chagong, but picked off there in the end, and Gen.G overplayed their hand a bit. They got isolated on the point, got caught by all that damage from Mag's Supercharger. And they didn't get the heals out fast enough. Now they're going to make a full swap. Get onto the Lucio, get onto the Moira, put Wakid onto that Reaper. So a full swap for them. They're going to take this mirror fight. Well, RunAway have, though, a superior ult advantage here. But they should just hold the choke. They should make them burn ults to get through this choke.
That would be the ideal. Going to open up with the Halt Stalker. Working in from the sides, gets some freeze on the Diva, drops the wall. All about control here on the main. The bomb, though, for RunAway right in the middle. Going to find Oberon. Even as the Blizzard is out, LEGDAY gone though. A little bit frozen on the point. May versus May, Stalker over top. Takes elevator the other side, and this is heavy pressure. Moving on in, Hisu. Death Blossom falls the other Reaper though, and Gen.G stalling this to a bit. The gun, good ults out of RunAway, but now I think it's probably about the time for resets.
That is exactly what they're doing. Gen.G just moving to the cart, gonna be dying there. They did use that Blizzard there. I actually don't agree with Stalker's Blizzard there at all. They hadn't forced nearly enough from RunAway. They were that close to the spawn. They hadn't even gotten the Blizzard out from Yaki. And now RunAway moving the cart forward, but still holding onto the Blizzard, getting close to that Supercharger. And it's a pretty stereotypical, I guess, interaction when you have both the Blizzard and the Superchargers, that you use the Supercharger to put your Mei in a good position that when the cooldowns are forced, you can use the Blizzard. It's going to be on Bliss to get a great beat.
Yaki's setting up over the top right now. The Blizzard from above, the Snowstorm. Getting ready. And the Blizzard already set on up here for RunAway. Gen.G getting forced back one by one. Keith, though, finds LEGDAY gone. Easy firing back the other side. That's Reaper v Reaper. The beat dropped by Gen.G. Still a fight that they want to try and take here. I look McKeed holding on to the Blossom. Looking to the other side. Forces Mei, the Ice Block. Supercharger still in effect. Supercharger falling right in the middle.
He's looking for the setup. He's going to drop the Death Zone on the high ground. He's going to find Heese. He was going to force the beat, but Gen.G cleaned up off the damage. The beat just too late. And now they come back in.
More on the point here, too. The bomb, though. QOQ takes down 2. However, I don't know if it's enough. RunAway still struggling to keep presence here on the point. Stalker and McKeed threats. The people not taken down by the bomb, and Gen.G, they withstand.
I have to give a lot of credit there to Gen.G in terms of how they came back into this fight with Keed in particular. With the TP, just to forget, you forget that TP is so fast now for Reaper. He makes sure to pressure out Yaki, put himself into that high ground position after RunAway have already used their cooldowns to come forward, and then drop onto them and the rest of Gen.G move forward. So well played from Wicked, creative there to back him up there with the Coalescence. RunAway have to re-enter the point. They do have the Blizzard advantage, but not much else in their bank.
It's dangerous here for RunAway too. Minute 48 left. Bliss finds Yaki. And they was about to have Blizzard. That was the linchpin of RunAway's entire fight. And now they're stuck fighting a 6-on-5 in slowly declining numbers. The follow through is there. That was RunAway's window, and it just slammed shut.
Yaki definitely getting a little over aggressive there on the top here. I think he was just looking to poke, build up for that ult charge, but gets isolated there by the wall from Stalker. Going to be re-entering the point here. They will have the Blizzard now. They will have several ults in the bank. You can look for that interaction again. But even if Mag were to pop that early Supercharge trying to force cooldown, if I'm Wuyol, I say, okay, I look for the zone on Yaki, and I can just destroy that Supercharger with my bomb. I can look for the zone here with my bomb.
Next, the Reaper v Reaper duel up at the top. And McKeed's the winner. Forces the other Reaper down. Claims the high ground for his own, and Death Blossom still in reserve. You see the Blizzard in here from Yaki to the side. But meanwhile, Wuyol's bomb blows up Hisu. McKeed, free the move to the back if he wants here. The engage for RunAway just not what they were looking for. They're forced on back, and we're down to under a minute.
You see this Gen.G chasing. If they get staggered any harder here, it's really, really rough for RunAway. They are going to get out. And it's so important that Reaper 1v1 you talked about there, because when Hisu's Wraith is forced, he falls to the low ground, and when the Supercharger comes out, Wheel just bombs it and catches Hisu. He catches him there because he uses that bomb as a way to remove the Supercharger. They're going to re-enter the point. Q2 is going to be back in mech. But look at the ult bank for Gen.G, an early Supercharger. They break the shield. They're trying to set up Stalker.
RunAway needs a miracle right now. Gen.G is so overwhelmingly favored. I mean, to start things off here, they need to eat the Blizzard, and that's a requirement, pure and simple. So first things first, QOQ, over the top, has to be looking at Stalker, and the Blizzard, well on the way. Beat at the top, Death Blossom up, beat invested by RunAway, they're moving on in. They're trying to force out the Blizzard. It doesn't happen, Stalker doesn't blink. Heavy damage from McKeed, they get the D-Mac, and guess what? It's time to get cold! McKeed drops on in over the top, the Blizzard freezing the rest. Gen.G able to hold on. They take King's Row. They're one map away from their second seed bye.
And I have to give, once again, it's so important to watch here is the interaction with the Maze and Reapers. And Stalker and Wahid are simply just outperforming Yaki and Hisu right now on their respective roles. You see right here in this final fight, they look to get the setup, they get the freeze, they get QOQ out of the mech, and then Wahid drops the Death Blossom and falls down. It's just all about the setup. It's the pre-fight dance here. And when you're playing a composition like this, just to put your Reaper in the position to clean up the fight.
And all Gen.G had to do there was not blink. RunAway, they used the early beat, and I think the entire idea there was, all right, run it Mei, force Blizzard, and Gen.G just realized, we're not actually in danger. Nice try. Get the D-Mech, drop the Blizzard, win the fight. But guys, we're going to be taking a quick break. Gen.G one map away from the second seed bye. Can they do it? We're going to find out soon. Gen.G bouncing King's Row to get away from RunAway with an iron defense on second. And now threatening to stay in that second place spot, to take their bye as GC Busan looks on going, please run away. Just one series. All we want.
Just one series, bro. Please, bro. We want that better seed. We want the potential to get a bye, but it's not looking that way so far. By the way, they had a good performance on Paris, but Gen.G, they've looked very good on the May Reaper comp. Stalker and Wakid, their synergy has been insane right now. They have been setting up each other perfectly. They've been having that back and forth that you need in terms of either putting your Reaper in position to succeed or your May in position to succeed. Very well done for them.
And for RunAway, I mean, the one thing that we've talked about before is that it's not a ton at stake at RunAway here, or for RunAway. Not nearly to the degree of Gen.G. It's Gen.G that's really all out, because winning the series here, again, it's a full-on series you don't have to play, and we can't overemphasize how unpredictable the shift to true 2-2-2 is for teams and their power ranking and where things are. You only need to go look back at what just happened in NA Contenders or the Overwatch League for proof of that, where Gladiators Legion, a team that just barely scraped in the playoffs, getting to go to Gauntlet over Third Impact, a team that was considered to be a favorite and almost predestined to head on in there with the Atlantas and the Envies of the world.
The rule set change has been huge. With having this rollback now, teams are needing to adjust. They're having to deal with an entirely new meta off the fly very quickly. They're learning, and obviously many of them have been practicing for a while now, even going into this last season for KR Contenders, this last regular week for KR Contenders during the season. They've obviously been practicing. They're playing the metas that everyone's been seeing, and it has really shifted up the game. It's changed a lot of how these teams are, what their power levels are in relation to each other. We are going into Dorado. It's going to be our fourth map, our escort of the series. Potential last map.
Very well could be, and I mean, Dorado today, it's been a very back and forth map, to put it mildly, given the zaniness that we saw. A 6-point Dorado, and I think to my Overwatch casting career, I feel like across all the matches I've done, and there are plenty, I don't think I've seen a 6-point Dorado more than 5 times, and it might be even less than that. It's very rare.
The real question is, when are we going to get a 6-point Havana? That's the real question, because have we gotten close to 6-point Havana yet? I don't think we have yet, because Havana, I think, is really coming for that throne that Dorado has of being almost an impossibly hard escort map to finish out.
I'm trying to think. I wouldn't be able to tell you the teams offhand because it's been so much Overwatch that starts blurring together, but I feel like there was some series where we saw a 5-point Havana. I feel like 5 points on Havana has happened, but not 6. They came close to 6. I don't know what match.
I feel like that is the secret treasure. That is the insane wealth of cap points. That is the crazy goal to be attained, is a 6-point Havana, because that map, many people are saying that is the hardest blast to cap out of any of the payloads.
Oh, I mean, you just have so much room to work for. Not only that, but you think about the prevalence of snipers right now. Good luck getting in on a player like Corey when you're giving him an actual castle to snipe from. A one that still works, unlike Eichenwald.
So there's going to be RunAway on the defense first, playing a little bit of the Pharaoh Widow comp here. So they have Sustain to tank them with Gundamjin on the Ana to tank that front line. And they're going to hoping to look for poke, play around the shield for Oberon, maybe find some of the back line, get an early barrage with Yaki.
Note it was RunAway that chose to be on the defense first here, so Gen.G to show us their offensive chops to begin with. And it comes down to the simple Pharah Widow dream, where the Pharah is the distraction, and very likely Hisu going to be looking to move in from the flank, but not at this point here. Like, you don't see the more stereotypical Pharah Widow setup until Gen.G will get a little bit deeper into the point.
Gen.G, they're just trying to play clustered around the point. They're getting ready to move forward past the archway. Yaki doing a lot of damage. Now here comes Gen.G's push, trying to move past the shield, but RunAway just backed up. They backed up, and now they're going to continue to put that poke damage.
Well, they're trying to go for the ignore Pharah strat, but so far, not necessarily working out well. Yaki laying in the rockets, thick and furious over the top. Wakid down immediately. That's some distance there off the Diva.
Gen.G, they're still on the point with Stalker down and the barrage coming out. Yaki should live as well. However, it's not over. Gen.G decided to commit the coalescence, but can they really finish up these ults when a Valk is out for RunAway is the question.
And again, the goal, ignore Pharah, destroy the ground, and so far, not as successful as they'd like, but Mag falling, it's not entirely ineffective either. Creative falling on the other side. Wakid going in real deep to the back line. Pressure on the Widow, and this is not where Widow wants to be. Melee versus Reaper, generally not a winnable situation.
Yagi, he's still here. He's still getting pocketed by Lee Gong and Gundam Jin. They're going to have the Nano. Yagi building up towards another barrage as we speak, and the tanks have made it back for RunAway. They're contesting. They're going to drop it on to QOQ.
We all going to the top, applying a little bit more pressure to the Far, but generally the Far's been ignored here. It has been Gen.G versus the ground. But RunAway, Yaki landing the rockets over the top. The Blizzard used by Stalker, but they don't have enough left. The toll from Yaki is extracted. And RunAway will hold here at the end of first.
The Yaki is just getting insane value. The ignoring Pharaoh strategy is not working. It almost worked there, but because they didn't clean up the point fast enough, Yaki's sitting above them, continuing to remove their cooldowns, just take down their health, chip it away consistently. He has another barrage, and Gen.G just used 2 big ults. They use Bomb, they use Blizzard. They don't have either now to actually injure the point or to own it.
Yaki hanging up over the top, and for now, it's basically make or break for Yaki, where they're going to ignore Yaki, but he can land the shots. It's a deadly decision. Drops the barrage over the top. Oberon immediately erased, and at some point for Gen.G, maybe don't ignore the Pharah.
I think that now, though, they've committed to the strat. The barrage is out. It's gone. So this is Gen.G's best attempt, is this following fight. They just can't lose anyone else to the staggers as Yaki is poking. But now that there's no barrage on the field, they know there's no supercharger for Mag either. They need to take this fight aggressively again with the Cole. But if they use the Cole too early, if I'm RunAway, I'm just watching for that. I'm looking to get the headshot. I'm looking to use the bomb. So they have to be very careful how they engage here. They need to get close, then take the fight. They're looking to set up Wakid as the Death Blossom.
The fear of Pharah, though, is also causing Gen.G to lose so much time. They had to wait and wait and wait before finally they go through the archway. And now they're down to the final 30 seconds. Wakid, oh wow, he actually got out of there. That was a dangerous teleport. Dangerous game being played. Ends up working. They get the freeze on to the reset. They take it on down, but Resurrection up, Mag back to the fight, and guess what? It's Yaki. He's in the sky. He's delivering rockets.
And it's first hold.
More. Yeah.
This is first hold, right? Here's the P. They're all getting cleaned up. And RunAway just saved their bomb. They waited for the engage. They waited for Gen.G to come forward to use the coalescence, and as soon as the coalescence out, guess what you can't do is Moirai. You can't fade. You can't shift away. And QOQ catches creative there with the bomb, removes all the healing, and then it's just a slow game for RunAway.
Oh man, that is the strategy of, hey, Pharah's destroying our entire team over and over and over again. Sips coffee, this is fine. No, actually wasn't fine. The swap was badly required there, where sometimes you can get away with it. This wasn't one of those times. Yaki was playing way too well to ignore the Pharah that entire time.
Ignoring only works if they're not killing you all. And sadly, Yaki was doing so much damage and getting so much value that even when he would drop a barrage in the middle of a fight, they just didn't finish him up. They just could never clean him out.
Now, the result of this defense means I'm going to apply some NA math here and say, not only are we not going to 6 points here in Dorado, we're not even going to a true 1 point. It's going to be like 3/4 of a point at best, one way or another.
I have to say, Professor ZP, the math checks out. I've double-checked it. I've used the calculator. I've done it by hand, and I do agree with that.
Definitely need the calculator.
Now, by many means, I have to say that it is still technically, we do have to put the disclaimer, the asterisk, that Gen.G can still win this map.
Yes.
It is not over. We have seen more miraculous first holds, but it seems hard to believe, considering that all RunAway has to do is that if they're getting hard countered, just make some good swaps. They have infinite flexibility in terms of the time bank that's allotted to them and all their win conditions, because they don't, all they have to do is cap first.
Fuller holds, though, do happen on Dorado. One way or another, though, it's going to be a quick Dorado. We're talking about Dorado that's probably going to be less than 20% of the time of the Dorado of the first series today. However, even if RunAway wins here, it's not necessarily the best omen going forward, because they still have to find a way to fix their mistakes and beat Gen.G on Control, where, remember, they got blapped on Control earlier today.
So Gen.G holding to this high ground first, getting a little bit of spam in. They're playing Risa Hog, so looking for the halt hooks. And already, bye-bye, Wu Y'all getting caught. getting caught by that aggression from RunAway, moving up from the low ground and just using the halt hook of their own. And they're going to keep looking. They're going to keep looking for halt hooks.
You know, oh, they got him on the other side. And I got to tell you, Avast, I just checked my recipe book for how to make a fuller hold. I'm not seeing any of these ingredients in here. In fact, this is part of the recipe book for how to speed run Dorado, and RunAway is following it to a T.
They've replaced the salt with the sugar. This is definitely so. They are not using the right spices. Gen.G, they're going to have one more recontest here into this point. Leisure Gong getting close to the Ant Matrix. It is possible now as they move back in. They don't touch!
Well, go again. Go next.
Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed.
That was G. That entire map was G, is what we just saw. It was a game. I mean, what more can you say? It really, was the defense here from Gen.G good? No. Is that really the main storyline here? No. The main storyline is, don't ignore Pharah the entire time when the Pharah is just destroying your team inside and out. But now for Gen.G, they have a more worthy tale to claim their prize. If they're going to get that bye, they're going to have to do it via the map 5 against RunAway. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon. RunAway dominating Dorado just a moment ago because you know what? They applied the Big Goose Theorem of invincibility and they put it on Yaki and it worked out. Flying equals invincible equals they get the first point hold and they quickly fall through with a good offense right after that. So now it's map 5. However, if you are Gen.G, you're still feeling pretty good about map 5 because you look back at what happened on Control early in the series and it wasn't close.
I mean, it wasn't just the invincibility theorem. It was the invisibility theorem for Yaki. He was just unseen. He had no point touched. He was just free to do whatever he desired there in the skybox and got insane value there on the Pharah. And for Gen.G, the problem wasn't their defense. Sure, it was like you said, it wasn't a great defense, but it was the fact they got first help. A good offense is always better than a great defense.
Very much is. I mean, because really your offense dictates how hard your defense has to work. Works like that in a lot of sports. It certainly works that way in Overwatch. But now we figure out the fate of Gen.G and particularly GC Busan. In just a moment, it comes down to a control game. And you got to believe that over in the GC Busan team house, there were cheers at what just happened in Dorado, at Yaki just getting all the space he ever needed and more. But now we move forward. Busan is where the fates will be decided. We'll see if RunAway can end the regular season on a high note, which will also be a very sad note for Gen.G.
I mean, it's definitely a good moment for Busan, I think, who's cheering for RunAway there. But now they have to be very unhappy because they've gone back to Control. And the last Control we played, like you talked about, they got schlapped. They got schlapped a little bit by the 3-3 that Gen.G were playing. And also, particularly, even if they play 2-2, we've seen May Reaper be an exceptionally good comp of Busan in the Overwatch League and even in a Contenders playoffs. And it's going to continue to be good here. And RunAway have clearly not been as good at the May Reaper comp in the mirror matchup or even just running against it in general where they can't put Yaki on a Pharah and he's on a Widow.
Here's my big question. We saw RunAway run with the true GOATs. Not a variant, but true GOATs back on map 1. Do they bring it out here for not just one last ride, but truly the final ride of GOATs, potentially? Here and now. We might have already seen it, but it could be here in map 5. It'd be fitting. One way or another, the era ends this map. Kind of the bigger story, really, overall, even relative to the playoffs.
I mean, it really is, because at the end of the day, all these teams we're seeing play, or we're seeing Gen.G and RunAway, they're in playoffs, no matter what. And they're also still guaranteed pretty good seeds. It's more of just a question of who gets if Gen.G gets the bye or GC Busan gets the bye. But at the end of the day, this is the last time we are ever going to see the possibility to play 3-3, not even to play 3-3, to play triple TPS, to play any of those. It's all being refined. It's all being pushed into the 2-2-2 system. And it is the end of not only Overwatch as a competitive esport in terms of this era, but just the general game design of Overwatch, the game in general.
Here we go. We're going to open up on the base stage here on Busan. And right now, GOATs not necessarily in play. RunAway running with the May, Gen.G. We're at the May Hog Hanzo. Gen.G taking the more narrow approach over to the side and RunAway just gonna start creeping their way on over, but there's the halt, there's the hook. But the Fortify, we keep things safe.
Good Fortify there for Mag. It's so important to save the Fortify for these halt hooks when Gen.G are on the Orisa Hog. And RunAway gonna take this fight to point. This time, no Fortify for Mag. Is gonna get cleaned up immediately.
Doesn't hook him over the edge, gets him right onto the platform. Bang, gone. Fortify not up that time. We all with another hook. Gen.G working at an advantage here. ECU down, and this is clean from Gen.G. They started out 100-0, 100-0, and now they're gonna go for a third. First cap is theirs.
Now we're gonna have to enter the point versus this Hanzo versus the Zen hole versus the Zen Orisa Hog, and it's a brutal comp to enter in. And actually, they're already making swaps, getting the Zen Batiste of their own, putting QOQ onto the Hog and Hisu onto the Hanzo. So they'd rather just mirror. They'd say, no, we're not even gonna bother with the May Reaper here because we'd rather just mirror because we have not found success pushing into this in the past.
Really good positioning here from Gen.G. RunAway though, able to use the wall to move on forward. Make the next part here all even. Halt to the top, look at the wall! Stalker, a perfectly placed wall, blocks the hook, and McKee finished off Gangnam Jin. Excellently executed by Gen.G. We all frozen on the other side. He does get a chance to take the breather. The immortality field, so big, keeps him up in the moment. Here comes the whole hog to finish things out.
And everyone cleaned up, and the immortality fields really being the difference maker in that fight. The Halt Dragon forces that early immortality field from Li Gong and still finds Gangnam Jin. And Blizzard in return finds a lot more value from his, keeping Wuyao alive, even when he's frozen, even when he's hooked. Everything comes out. It's so important now where you see these main supports flexing on the Batiste, and you're seeing comps like this. Immortality field is really a difference maker. It's an ult on cooldown in a lot of ways, in its defensive abilities.
I mean, there's a world where it's gonna be Batiste Seldon, where it's just like, you know what, let's put it on cooldown and see how it works. Let me tell you, it works pretty well, especially when you know a hero is gonna die without it. Halt, up, pressure moving in, RunAway. Feeling pressure to put this on set point. Dropping the Ant Matrix immediately, and it's Ant Matrix v Ant Matrix. Bliss getting a lot of damage from the other side though, LeGDAY gone. Making use of his window, takes down Oberon. Key trying to turn it back around, Dragon used, but meanwhile, Wuyao equalizes, takes down Mag, both teams down to Orisa. It's gonna be Gen.G's Orisa back first. Punishing RunAway, forcing them back 90% right now to 0. And the Blizzard from Yaki, it doesn't do much at all.
The flanks here from Gen.G. Wuyao and Creative, even though Creative goes down, it's fine. They just opened up so much space on the flanks, and that was last fight. The entire time we're here talking, but this time is slowly ticking away. RunAway was in the last fight territory. They had to get to the point. They committed the Blizzard. They still couldn't find anything. And honestly, I have to give a lot of credit to Wuyao, who on this hog has been extremely impactful for Gen.G today. And right there in that fight, rotating around like a shark in the water, just sensing blood and finding kill after kill.
By the way, let's recount again. A little bit of math here, as best as we can do it. You know what the score is between Gen.G and RunAway and Control in the series? It's 300-0.
Sometimes you just get, you don't cap any points on Control, and then you have to go back to Control for the tiebreaker. RunAway really need to pick it up here, and in particular versus this Batiste incom that Gen.G have been playing. They just do not seem to know how to effectively close out fights and get the opening and set up their ults in a way they want to. They just don't know. They just really seem lost at times.
Also, we might have seen the last of GOATs back at the beginning of the series because RunAway not running out here in the 3-3. The last ride might have already been done.
Both teams just opting here for the 2-2 setup. See a lot of spam being placed for both teams. Yaki getting a lot better of it so far.
Stalker's walls to deny combos. Just so well timed as Joaquin gets the first pick off. Gangnam Jin down. Gen.G picking up where they left off. Could they live the 400-0 dream? Joaquin certainly thinks so. Picks off one more.
And now it's just cleanup time for Gen.G. They're trying to find these stagger kills. They're trying to stop them from getting back to the spawn, and with that early Ant Matrix opening up the fight there for Gen.G off of those picks. RunAway looking at the recontest. They will have Ant Matrix of their own now, so they can use that to round the corner, try to get that early tank pressure, remove the cooldowns. And so important there is that Yaki tried to Blizzard. Yaki tried to Blizzard in that fight and got nothing out of it. Got absolutely nothing. And now Stalker has the advantage.
It's a really tough spot to be in. Mag looking for the Hall hook, and again, the wall is there. Stalker, it's like clockwork, immediately able to drop it. Joaquin, while that's going on, got to the side, got LeGDAY gone down. This has been so surgical from Gen.G. Their control game so far has been next level. Another saving wall by Stalker as Joaquin finds his counterpart.
I mean, I don't think there's anything else to say at this point that when you're looking at the domination Gen.G is putting forth right now, Stalker and Wakid are instrumental, with Wuyall continually finding value. But Stalker and Wakid just have to be the heroes in a lot of ways and how much value they're finding.
This is absolutely insane how consistent the saving walls have been here for Gen.G, and they are charged up and ready to go 70-0. Now on the progress, this is so big for Gen.G.
And this entry here for RunAway is that if this fight, they're very slow comp, there's no Lucio. By the time the fight breaks down, it's pretty much last fight territory. See the early supercharger, but they're just going to Dragon it. They're just going to try to move them from behind it.
Dragon used early, and Wakid again gets Gangnam Jin over on there in the follow-through. And RunAway, this could be their very last fight. The Immortality field is down. It's 90%, and anything they even get over to the point here is going to be tortured at best.
They are doing a good job of not losing anyone else. They're going to come back in here to the point. Towards the touch. Gangnam Jin coming back with the hook. Can they find it? They do. Bye-bye, LEGDAY gone. 2 frags already for Gen.G.
What coordination here from Gen.G. Yeah, you got the Blizzard at the end, but you need teammates to support it. RunAway to stagger their way back on over. Hope for some form of miracle, but they have to get off the other side. Gangnam Jin, though, make it slightly interesting. 3 members of RunAway heading on over. Tracer and opposite Gangnam Jin with another. Hang on. It's not quite exactly what they want. Wakid, though, guess what? He's back. Gets LEGDAY gone down. And Gen.G able to bring it on back. The wall is out and over. But guess what? There was a sight point flip there. It's not 400-0. 400-16. Moral
you want to talk about just a moral victory there for RunAway. Not getting 400 out on control and getting completely shut out of both control maps in the series. Gen.G securing their spot here, securing their seed, getting their bye. RunAway going to keep their spot here on the 4th place. But my goodness, what a clinic on control Gen.G put up. And you really just have to look to the insane value that Stalker and Wakid are getting in comparison.
I mean, really, you look at all across all levels played, not just other Contenders teams, but look up to the Overwatch League. Can you name an Overwatch League team overall that has that little consistency with walls to block combos? I don't think so. That is actually insane what Stalker has brought that to. Very, very impressive, and a very good omen for Gen.G, where guess what? Heading into 2-2-2, that's the meta right now. That is what we've been seeing more than anything else. So a well-earned 2nd place berth for Gen.G. They get a bye, they get a little bit of rest, and no matter what, it means that they get 2 matches that give them a shot at getting to the gauntlet later this year. Well deserved.
You can see the celebration happening there, and I think that for Gen.G, I really think the important thing for Gen.G is like you see his performance now and compare it to them literally just a season ago, where they were at risk of being relegated. They had such a huge turnaround as a team, especially for the Academy team for Seoul Dynasty. They've looked great this season.
It's been very, very good for them. And you see some of the replays here. Wakid, Mr. Consistency between him and Stalker. Could you ask anything more of a Mei Hanzo combo? And let me just stop you right there. The answer is no. No, you can't.
They were constantly taking those halt hooks. They were getting dragons at an exponential rate. They were getting those frags, the damage they needed. And overall, Gen.G looked like the far more polished squad, at least on control. You could make some arguments for the other maps. It definitely seemed like RunAway felt more comfortable steering away from the Mei Hanzo, from the Mei Reaper. They felt a lot better playing maybe Pharaoh Widow. They did not seem like they had the best grasp on that particular, on the meta that seems to be shifting into for Contenders playoffs at Overwatch League Stage 4, which could be a bad omen for them moving forward potentially.
No doubt. Also, just to make the announcement official, time here in Central Time, about 8:40 a.m. GOATS is dead. It is gone forever. All forms of Overwatch. We are now in 2-2-2. It's over. The new age of Overwatch is upon us in all ways. The future is bright indeed. But in case you're just tuning in wondering, okay, that's cool, but what happened today? Well, we're going to take a look at the recap. Just noted the 2 matches here today. We had our match of pride. We had a match for the